Hi, and welcome to the 10-Minute Food Truck Training Podcast. My name is Bill Moore. I am author of Food Truck 101, Beginner to Winner. Internet marketers are invading food truck education, and I want to give you guys just a little warning because it's time to run away from them. Those of you that follow me, have joined my group, read my books, read the blogs that I have on my website, you know that I come from a restaurant background, and it's not a mom and pop restaurant where they figured out what to do. I have actually been trained. I worked for one restaurant corporation for 13 years, another one for 16 years, and I worked at least 3 years at several different other companies. I was trained by them and eventually became the trainer for them. So I know a little bit about the restaurant industry and food in general. Here's what makes me different than most of the other people that are consulting or writing books and trying to sell courses, especially when it pertains to food trucks. I moonlighted on my restaurant off days and on my evenings with my tiny food trailer selling hot dogs and hamburgers. It's safe to say that I know the industry pretty well. If I tell you guys something, it's from experience and expertise. Lots and lots of experience and expertise. You guys also know that I'm a numbers person. I'm a shy, nerdy numbers guy. Everything that I teach, I equate back to numbers because numbers are measurable and numbers don't lie. So when I see some pretender spout off some fictitious numbers, I look into those numbers for the reality to see if I'm getting ready to be led on a leash by some marketer and then being asked to join a group and get all the secrets and then give up an email so they can spam me into oblivion. So I've got 3 examples that have popped up in the last couple of months that I want to share with you guys and explain what the problems are with each of these folks. This first one is laughable. I just saw it last night. A Facebook business page posted a teaser video, and the heading to it was, "Can you make $60,000 in a day?" Did y'all catch what I said? $60,000 in a day. One of the more popular food truck companies in the U.S., they sell lobster. You guys might know who I'm talking about. They can do $60,000 in a day as a company, but it takes them 26 food trucks selling a $21 minimum ticket average to do it. There is no single food truck that has the storage capacity, the cooking capacity, or just the room for employees to generate $60,000 in a single day. It's impossible. But yet this guy's teasing he has a secret to teach you how to do that if you join his group and give up your email. So if you want to go through the numbers, a single food truck storing that much food, it would be impossible. If you've ever worked with a 20-foot shipping container, it has cubic space within it, and there's only so much food that will fit in it. I've worked with 20-foot shipping containers. I used to get them all the time when I worked in the Virgin Islands. I know how much food they'll hold. To do $60,000 in a single day, you would need a 20-foot container 3/4 the way full of food to follow you around to be able to support the food truck. Numbers-wise, doing $60,000 a day if you did an 18-hour service would require $3,300 each and every hour that you're open. It would take 157 guests per hour, each of them spending that $21 to be able to hit $60,000 in a day. That means you are ringing up one order every 23 seconds for 18 hours in a row. Not possible. So this secret, this guru claims he has, you have to join his free Facebook group, and he requires an email. So just do the math yourself. Pull out a calculator and spit out those numbers. Nothing about what he says adds up. It is simply not possible for the typical food truck to do that. There may be a single food truck out there that's by some miracle performing those kind of sales, but it's not duplicatable. Not everyone can do that. I want to teach you guys how to do things that are duplicatable so it works for somebody that lives in Florida, somebody that lives in Pennsylvania, somebody that lives in Washington State. It should be duplicatable. The second guru is at least plausible. He's basing his guidance on his own food truck that he claims did a little over $400,000 in sales, and it took him about 14 months. Certainly worth a pat on the back, but that doesn't deserve the title of expert. For the low price of $197, you too can learn how to make your food truck generate a 6-figure revenue and a 6-figure income. The course is broken down into 7 modules that cover the basics with the ad implying it's nothing but video training. Nowhere in the ad does it mention any kind of written materials, but who knows, maybe there is written materials to go with these 7 video modules. Now here's why I say this person doesn't have the expertise. He has experience, but not expertise. When you read the ad, he mentions DHEC, which is Department of Health and Environmental Control. And that is a specific department only in South Carolina. No other state calls their food licensing agency by those initials. So limited experience. There are numerous misspellings throughout the entire ad copy. And then he makes this really unusual statement. He says most food trucks rely on income from events, and he calls that risky. And then he goes on to say a couple of sentences later that he's going to teach you how to create your own event. Well, if events are risky, why would I want to create my own event? He's implying that an event, which is a publicly accessible gathering of people to do common activities like pet pets, ride rides, play games, and then eat so they can go on to play more games, ride more rides, and pet more pets. That's an event. Creating your own event just means that you're going to set up your business and invite a whole bunch of people there, which that's just setting up. That's a daily location. It's not an event. In order to generate a 6-figure income, obviously you've got to have at least 6-figure revenue. Okay, so let's say a food truck generates 50% profit. That means they have to do at least $200,000 in sales. Okay, so we take that $200,000 and I tell people you can work 200 days a year. That's working 4 days a week, 50 weeks of the year, and you take 2 weeks off. 200 days. Now, we all know that there's going to be weather that will cause you to be closed on some of those days. But we'll just pretend like it's sunny for 200 days. So we take that $200,000 in sales, divide it by 200 days, and you guys know the math in your head. That's $1,000 a day to hit $200,000 in sales. See, the real trick is not generating that kind of sales, because $1,000 a day is really very, very easy, but it's managing the expenses to generate the 50% profit you need so that you have that $100,000 personal income, that 6-figure income that's being bragged about. What's amazing to me is none of the 7 modules mentions pricing, mentions expenses, mentions inventory, or anything else that's even remotely involving a profit and loss statement. 4 of those 7 modules have different variations of marketing, and it's just restated in different words. So if over 50% of the material is how to market, that doesn't leave a lot of the material to cover anything of any importance to you as a business. I can promise you that you can market yourself out of business, because marketing is just an invitation to people to say, please come eat my food. And if you're inviting a whole bunch of people in, but then not taking care of them when they come in, they don't come back. You will eventually run out of the population in your town if you don't give great food and great service. And even if you give great food and great service, if you don't manage your expenses, you're not going to hit that 50% in profit for your $200,000 in revenue to equal $100,000 in income. If you don't manage the influx of sales properly, you could possibly have 0 profit. So doing $400,000 in sales and having no profit, does that make this course sound like something you want to take? If they can't even address the basics of pricing, of inventory, of expenses, I can show you many restaurants that did over $1 million a year in sales and they failed. Top line revenue does not guarantee success. It gives you a fighting chance at success, but you have to have a balance of marketing skills with operational skills, with business management skills. If you don't have that balance, you're not going to be in business very long. And if you are in business very long, you're going to hate it, because you're always worried about making payroll, about making the truck order, about having enough money to pay the bills. So it's got to be a balance. Let me tell you about the third one that just came up. This is somebody that I actually met a couple of years ago. He wanted to be a consultant, and he talked to me about how he could go about doing that. His pitch was to brag about everything he knows from his whopping 2 years as a food truck operator. And he claimed he did $2 million in his most recent year. So I asked him, how could you do $2 million from a food truck? And he goes on to tell me that he only did big events. And I'm not talking about the, county festival. He's doing the state festivals. He's doing big music festivals that are held over, a long weekend. He's doing concerts where there's 50,000, 75,000 people going and attending, and he had locked in all of the concessions. So his $2 million in sales wasn't from a single food truck. It was from multiple food trucks and trailers having a monopoly on the particular things that he attended. So he can brag about having done $2 million as a business, but he always presented himself as having done $2 million from a truck. This was in 2019 when I met him. So I wonder how well he did in 2020 when the majority of all big events were canceled. I doubt seriously that he did $2 million. I would be surprised if he did $200,000. You cannot put all of your eggs, all of your business eggs, in a single basket. You're not going to do well because things will happen that will change. You could have the local city come up with some ordinance that pushes you out of your current location if you only do locations. And if you only do one location, that's why I tell people you've got to move around. You have got to do events because your daily setups give you the practice to be able to handle the events and make more money. You've got to use a food truck the way it's designed, and that's designed to be mobile. So there's the three gurus. Okay, the bottom line is to look at a consultant or a course creator from the standpoint of experience over time and compare their results. Experience over time is just longevity. But when you have experience with great results, now you have expertise. And you don't have to hype that. You don't have to brag about what you do. You let your words explain to people your abilities. The results limit the teacher. I want you to remember that. Results limit the teacher. A person who has only achieved $200,000 a year in sales can only teach you how to achieve $200,000 in sales. They lack the expertise to do anything more than that. So if you want to learn how to hit a six-figure income, it would probably be better to learn from somebody that's done seven-figure revenues. So that way you have plenty of room to do the six-figure income. If you guys are enjoying the podcast, please consider hitting the support button or follow the links in the description and offer any show of support that you can. Every little bit does help keep us going. And if you love like-minded, positive, supportive people, check out our Facebook group. It's called Food Truck Training. There you're going to find a ton of information, a ton of inspiration, and a whole bunch of awesome people in our membership. Thank you guys so much for listening. I certainly hope you're finding the information useful in your food truck business. Y'all have a great day and come back tomorrow. I'll have another topic.